इससे पहले कि मैं डॉक्टर शशि थरूर को आमंत्रित करूं, एक छोटा सा सेरेमनी है, एक छोटी सी सेरेमनी है जिसे हम वाइट पेपर प्रेजेंटेशन सेरेमनी कहते हैं। इंट्रोड्यूस कैसे करूं? श्री जयशंकर प्रसाद जी की इन लाइन से इंट्रोड्यूस करती हूं। हिमाद्री तुंग श्रृंग से प्रबुद्ध शुद्ध भारती, स्वयं प्रभा समज्वला स्वतंत्रता पुकारती, अमृत्य वीर पुत्र हो दृढ़ प्रतिज्ञ सोच लो, प्रशस्त पुण्य पंथ है बढ़े चलो बढ़े चलो। ये दृढ़ प्रतिज्ञ सोच वाले लोग जिन्होंने अपना पुण्य पंथ प्रशस्त किया है, हमारे बीच हैं 4 ऐसे लोग जिन्होंने चर्चा की, बहुत सोच की, एक दूसरे से बातचीत की और कुछ इश्यूज पर अपने पेपर प्रेजेंट किए। Various AIPC chapters from across UP have published white papers on various issues, but we would like to invite 4 of them up on stage to present these papers to Dr. Tharoor today. May I now invite Ms. Neelam Vaish Singh from AIPC Lucknow chapter to present the white paper which has been authored by her. और इस पेपर का नाम है चिकनकारी कसीदकारी अब बेकारी की कगार पर। There's Ms. Neelam Vaish Singh, who has put in all her efforts to present this white paper to Dr. Tharoor. आपके विचार, आपकी सोच AIPC तक पहुंचाने के लिए बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। और जैसा अमिता जी ने पहले भी बोला, ये बात यहीं ख़त्म नहीं होती, probably यहाँ से शुरू होती है। I now invite Mr. S.K. Gigu from AIPC Amethi chapter to present the white paper authored by him, and the paper reads, Rural Transformation in India in Interconnected World, Opportunities and Solutions. We can see Mr. S.K. Gigu from AIPC Amethi chapter up here on stage presenting the paper to Dr. Tharoor. Congratulations on your brilliant work. May I now invite Ms. Tasneem Siddiqui from AIPC Noida chapter to present the white paper authored by Ms. Huma Tahir. The paper is on Indian healthcare reforms and development. Mr. Tasneem Siddiqui जो पेपर प्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं, वो Ms. Huma Tahir जी ने लिखा है। बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया अपने थॉट्स हमसे साझा करने के लिए, और आपको मुबारक हो। और हमारे चौथे सिपाही भी हैं। May I invite Dr. Girish Singh from AIPC Varanasi chapter to present his white paper which reads Silk Industry of Banaras. और एक आखिरी नाम मैं बुलाना चाहूंगी सिद्धार्थ दुबे जी का लखनऊ चैप्टर से। The legality of EVM usage, ये उनके व्हाइट पेपर का टॉपिक है। मिस्टर सिद्धार्थ दुबे फ्रॉम लखनऊ चैप्टर। मुबारक हो आपको। आपका फीडबैक, आपका सोच यहां से अपने अंजाम तक पहुंचेगा, ऐसा विश्वास है हमें। बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया अपने सारे गेस्ट ऑफ ऑनर्स का, चीफ गेस्ट का बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया इस सेरेमनी के लिए। एंड नाउ इज द मोमेंट दैट यू हैड बीन वेटिंग फॉर लॉन्ग टू हियर डॉक्टर शशि थरूर स्पीक टू अस। वेल प्लीज एक मिनट, थोड़ा सा वक्त और सर। यस प्लीज। देखिए, हमारे यहाँ हिंदुस्तानी परंपरा एक और भी है और बड़ी मजेदार है। यूं तो सूरज बहुत शक्तिशाली होता है, बड़ा पावरफुल होता है, ऊर्जा का स्रोत होता है, लेकिन हम सूरज की भी आराधना अपने तरीके से करते हैं। गैस करिए कैसे? एक छोटे से दिए की लौ उसको दिखाते हैं। तो प्लीज विद ऑल योर परमिशन सर, ये गुस्ताखी माफ करे, पर उस दिए की लौ वाला काम मैं आज करने जा रही हूँ। May I now introduce to you, ladies and gentlemen, our very favorite Dr. Shashi Tharoor. He currently serves as Member of Parliament Lok Sabha from Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala since 2009. He also serves as Chairman of the Parliamentary Standing Committee on External Affairs. He is the Chairman of All India Professionals Congress, we all know. He was a career official at the United Nations, rising to the rank of Under Secretary General for Communications and Public Information. And not just that, he's an acclaimed writer, having authored 18 best-selling works of fiction and non-fiction. He's also the author of hundreds of columns and articles in publications like the New York Times, the Washington Post, the prestigious Time magazine, Newsweek, Times of India. You say it, and he has done it. And this one is addition from my side. He's also the founder of quintessential Tharoorian dictionary of the rich English vocabulary that doesn't stop doing rounds on social media, no matter what, and how much this nation loves it. Well, he actually epitomizes an ideal AIPC fellow. From being a professional to a successful politician, Dr. Tharoor is actually an institution in himself. I'm sure every single person sitting here today is his admirer. और लखनऊ आए हैं आप, तो आपके लिए क्या शेर बोलूं? अपनी जो थॉट है, अपने जो ख्याल हैं, वो इस शेर के माध्यम से आप तक रखूंगी. बहुत ही फेमस लखनऊ के शायर का बहुत ही फेमस ये शेर है, अर्ज किया है. सूरज चांद सितारे हमारे साथ में रहें, जब तक तुम्हारा हाथ हमारे हाथ में रहे. अरे शाखों से टूटे हुए पत्ते नहीं हैं हम, शाखों से टूटे हुए पत्ते नहीं हैं हम, आंधियों से कह दो जरा अपनी औकात में रहे. The house is all yours, sir. Dr. Tharoor, we've been waiting for this moment.
Good afternoon. My dear colleague in Parliament, Sanjay Singh, members and office bearers of the Uttar Pradesh Congress Committee, Shri Salman Soos, Regional Coordinator for the All India Professionals Congress North Zone, Srimati Amita Singh, President of AIPC Uttar Pradesh, my young colleague Alim Javeri, who just reminded us that I belong to a small minority of old people, members and prospective members of AIPC, especially, of course, my gracious hosts in the Lucknow chapter of All India Professionals Congress, friends, mitron, I hope that covers everyone. It's great to be in Lucknow. जिस शहर का आम भी खास हो, वहाँ की आप भगत पर कुछ खास कहना तो बनता है. वाजिद अली शाह ने क्या कहा था? लखनऊ हम पे फिदा और हम फिदाए लखनऊ. आपको पता है कि मैं आज सुबह दिल्ली से आया हूं और मुझे बिस्मिल साइदी का शेर याद आया. क्या तबाह तो दिल्ली ने भी बहुत बिस्मिल, मगर खुदा की कसम लखनऊ ने लूट लिया. देखिए, ये वो लखनऊ है, मुझे पता है, जहां दुनिया की सबसे खूबसूरत कृष्ण लीला होती थी और नवाब वाजिद अली शाह कृष्ण बनते थे और उनकी बेगम्स गोपियां बनती थी. ये वो लखनऊ है जिसके स्वाद और जुबान दोनों में खुशबू आती है. ये वो लखनऊ है जिसकी साहित्य, कला और संस्कृति पूरी दुनिया में प्रसिद्ध है. ये वो लखनऊ है जिसकी अदब और तहजीब की पूरी दुनिया कायल है. नवाबों का शहर लखनऊ, नफासत का शहर लखनऊ, नज़ाकत का शहर लखनऊ. It's such a pleasure to be here. Actually, सवाल ये तो उठा कि मैं किस भाषा में बोलूं आज. एक दोस्त ने मुझसे कहा, भाई ये लखनऊ है, आप हिंदी में नहीं बोलोगे तो कोई समझेगा नहीं. मैंने जवाब दिया, भाई मैं तो दक्षिण भारत से हूं, मैं हिंदी में बोलूंगा तो कोई समझेगा नहीं. लेकिन ये लखनऊ है तो मैं ये भी कहूंगा, हमारी हिंदी शैली का आजकल जिक्र होता है. हमारी हिंदी शैली का आजकल जिक्र होता है. किसी को खुशी मिलती है, किसी को फिक्र होता है. कुछ लोग प्रोत्साहित करते हैं, कुछ लोग हंसते हैं, लेकिन इस शहर में लोगों की हंसी का डर नहीं है, क्योंकि मुझे पता है कि काशिश लखनऊ ही की हर चीज भुला देती हैं। यह लखनऊ है जहां जनाब, यहां हवा भी तहजीब से खाता है। अच्छा, वैसे भी मैं आज ना हिंदी में बोलूंगा ना प्योर इंग्लिश में, मैं आज हिंदुस्तानी में बोलूंगा जिसमें अंग्रेजी भी शामिल है, और कुछ शेर भी सुनाऊंगा आप उनके लिए, लखनऊ तो है। I've been asked to talk today on the topic of building the nation with politics of inclusiveness. Building the nation. It seems sometimes that some people feel they have a monopoly on nation building. But in fact, it's a job for all of us. Every Indian has to build the Indian nation. And then the topic says with politics of inclusiveness. It's very interesting. Alim Javeri reminded us that we must include the young. And I was in turn reminded when I went to Parliament for the first time as a newly elected MP in 2009, and our then 78-year-old Prime Minister Manmohan Singh ji said to all the newly elected MPs, remember, we must always respect the impatience of the young. That was a very profound message. The young have a right to be impatient. They want change, they want jobs, they want hope, and they want it now. And that's why, to me, including the young is absolutely indispensable. Salman talked about inclusiveness in the economic sense, including the marginalized, including the poor, the downtrodden, the excluded. I've often found myself saying, even in Parliament, that the magic of the market will not appeal to those who cannot afford to enter the marketplace. We believe that we have to bring people up to be able to take advantage of the strengths of our economy. And that's why inclusiveness must include all this. It must include those of Amita's gender, because gender remains in many parts of our country a sad and serious cause for exclusion. We have heard our Prime Minister speak at the Lal Killa last year about New India. He used the phrase 14 times in 1 hour, New India. We don't hear it quite so much these days, and perhaps there's a reason for that, because there was nothing much wrong with the old India. It's the old India that was built by our great founding fathers, the heroes of the freedom struggle. It was an India that was built despite all the depredations that history has taught us about, including 200 years of British colonial rule, about which, as some of you know, I have written. And it was an India that took over a country back in 1947, where 90% of the population was living below the poverty line, where the life expectancy of every Indian born in 1947 was just 26 years of age, where the entire country's literacy rate was 17%. And it was worse for women, because the entire womanhood of India gave us a literacy rate of 8.8% in 1947. That is, you put 13 women in a room and only one of them could read and write. That was the India that the British left us. And from there, thank you so much, from there we have built up an India where all those numbers are different. That in 2014, that literacy rate had gone from 17% to 79%. The poverty rate had declined from 90% to 23%. It's not good enough. 23% poor people is still a challenge we must overcome. But we have made progress, and we should not deny that. We must accept that all the indicators, infant mortality, child mortality, maternal health, everything has improved. Without claiming anything as perfect, it is not. But who of my age in this auditorium will claim that India has not grown and prospered in the first decades, the first 6.5 decades of its existence as an independent country. So there was no need to speak about New India as something that has just started now. The New India began in 2014, and we do not want a newer India that is built on the ruins of all that is good and noble in the old India. After all, आजकल क्या चल रहा है हमारे देश में? दर्द और चीख से उन्नाव कश्मीर भर डाला, दिखाकर ख्वाब अच्छा का क्या बदतर हाल कर डाला. Sorry. The fact is that this country has been facing enormous problems, which you all know about because you see them in your news and the headlines every day. The citizens of India, all of you, all of us, have an opportunity to defend the inclusive ideals of independent India's founding leaders, while rejecting those who adhere to a political ideology founded on exclusion and majoritarianism. I believe that these are in many ways difficult times for our nation, where battles are being fought every day to preserve the very soul of our nation. Our India, the India that Mahatma Gandhi fought to free, the India of Gandhiji, Nehruji, Sardar Patel, Dr. Ambedkar, Maulana Azad, and so many others, so many giants, Ram Manohar Lohia, Jayaprakash Narayan, they were all part of this great movement that brought us our freedom, and they have left behind unparalleled legacies that have stood the test of time and survived the turbulence of history. The soaring majesty of their work is now challenged by men of straw, men who stood aside when history was painfully made, men whose vision was as low as it was narrow, and men who seek an India where some are rulers and most are obedient subjects, tagged by an Aadhaar number and told to stay in their place, what to recite, whom to love, what to eat and not eat, what to wear and not wear, where to worship and not worship. Salman reminded us that the Prime Minister's slogan of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas is about inclusion, the topic of my talk today. But what do we see in reality in the last 4 years? A reality, unfortunately, of division and exclusion. India's diversity has come under sustained attack these days. We have seen so many headlines, I don't need to repeat them to you. But the breaking news is breaking our hearts day after day as we hear reports of mob lynching, of cow vigilantism. What a new phenomenon this is. Keeping cows safe is fine. Keeping cows safe by killing people is not fine. We have read of the murder of writers and intellectuals critical of the Sangh Parivar, most recently of the brave Gauri Lankesh. We have sadly seen the free media of our country facing intimidation, the press institutions of our country finding themselves the subject of coercive legal notices, as we saw with The Wire when they dared to attack a prominent politician's son. We have seen a crisis in the judiciary where for the first time the 4 most senior judges other than the Chief Justice have gone to the press. What they said was bad enough, what they left unsaid but hinted at was deeply worrying. We have seen the dismantling and misuse of all the domestic institutions and values and principles that we have so painstakingly built up over the years. The Election Commission. Why, after all, suddenly were the Himachal elections called 13 days before the Gujarat elections, when every single time they have been announced together? Was it not to oblige those in power in Gujarat and Delhi so they could give some more freebies to the voters in the 13 extra days? Very sad that the same election commission has had to face the strictures of the Delhi High Court for disqualifying 20 MLAs on technical grounds without due process. We have seen the RTI, the Right to Information Act, which gives every one of you the right to write and demand to know what happened to your taxes and how they were spent. That RTI has been hollowed out. You write now for RTI information, and very often you find yourself in a long queue as the pile of unanswered applications goes down a bottomless hole. We see Aadhaar, which we had initially introduced as a means of helping the government to give benefits, subsidies and other benefits directly to the beneficiaries. Instead, Aadhaar has become an instrument of coercion. A bill is passed as a money bill in Parliament saying that Aadhaar is only intended to govern the payment of funds from the Consolidated Fund of India, the Government of India's treasury. And what happens? They ask you to link your mobile phone to Aadhaar. Unless your mobile phone provider is getting its money from the Consolidated Fund of India, why is that necessary? Why must you link your private bank account to Aadhaar? The Supreme Court will rule on all of this, but these are questions about the government's intentions. We've had discriminatory and callous economic policy making. There was demonetization, which was a bad notebandi, a bad idea, badly implemented. And then there was the rollout of GST, which was a good idea, badly implemented. But both times, bad implementation happened. In fact, in 2004, what the voters said to the UPA were, if I can quote Ghalib's immortal words, "Hazaron ख्वाहिशें ऐसी कि हर ख्वाहिश पे दम निकले, हजारे ख्वाहिशों ऐसी कि हर ख्वाहिश पे दम निकले, बहुत निकले मेरे अरमान, लेकिन फिर भी कम निकले." And so they voted against us. मान लिया, we accepted that. Today the tune has changed, and it's time to change Ghalib's lyric also, because with demonetization we can only say, हजारों ख्वाहिशें ऐसी कि हर ख्वाहिश से दम निकले. हम चले थे बैंक से पैसे लेने, हर ATM तो खाली रहे. And what about GST? It's amazing, when we came up with GST, it actually was meant to be a good and simple tax. We said there are 23 taxes in India. Every state levies octroi and excise, and the trucks are held up at every state border. Such a mess. Why don't we unify the economy by merging all these 23 taxes into one tax for the whole country, covering every item at one level? Very simple idea. So the BJP took the sleek horse and they converted it into an ungainly camel. And in that camel, what have we got? We've got 3 GSTs, CGST, SGST, IGST, and then you've got 6 GST rates, ranging from 3% for gold to 28% plus cess, 43% for a luxury SUV. And in these 6 rates, we have created what international financial institutions have called the most complex indirect tax in the world. Congratulations, BJP, you finally got the world's most something, except it is the most complex. So, I was, in fact, alarmed as the rates. You remember the Congress party had insisted that in no account should any GST by constitutional amendment should not be allowed to go above 18%. We were actually planning to aim at 13 to 15. We finally compromised on 18. Government would not agree, and in the end, that was not allowed to be passed in the law that was passed. So what happened? अलविदा कहते हुए जब मैंने इस शख्स से पूछा कि कोई निशानी तो दो, अलविदा कहते हुए जब मैंने इस शख्स से पूछा कि कोई निशानी तो दो, वो मुस्कुराते हुए बोले 28% GST लो. But the list of unfortunate developments is not over. There is the rising schism between the central government and the states. They speak of cooperative federalism, but the only cooperation is with those states that they run. And today the southern states are extremely alarmed about the terms of reference of the 15th Finance Commission, which seems to be punishing those states that have promoted women's empowerment, reduced population growth, and actually conducted the very targets of human development that were set to them by previous governments. That, I'm afraid, is raising some serious questions. Unemployment in our country is at an all-time high, and unemployment, you all know that the party that came to power in 2014 rode in on a promise of 2 crore jobs a year. Many of the young people of UP voted for that party because they thought they will be getting these 2 crore jobs and they will be the beneficiaries. Well, I'm sure your mathematics is good enough. In 4 years, that should be 8 crore jobs. Do you know how many jobs have been created in India in the last 4 years? Precisely 18 lakh. Now, we can talk about Rozgar, we can talk about skill development. The reality is of unemployment at an all-time high. That is what we're living up with. Then there are these various employment generation schemes that have all spectacularly failed. Make in India, Skill India, Digital India, Startup India, Stand Up India, Sit Down India. That's essentially where we stand now. It's sit down, because nothing, unfortunately, is going to happen with this government. And we are facing these challenges, unfortunately, because, unfortunately, the rhetoric ran away, and we ran away with it. All of us were inspired by the brilliant speeches of our distinguished leader. But the best salesman in the world cannot keep selling you an empty package. And that is what the world is discovering, that the packages he sells so effectively have nothing behind them. This is the challenge the country continues to face. We are facing, of course, so many other tragedies which we will not directly blame the government for, but we will blame the government for the atmosphere they have unleashed. The horrific and tragic attacks against women, rapes, violence, murder. Kathua, now we know about all of these, the list goes on. I must say that part of the big problem we've had is that these speeches actually gave rise to hope. People believed in 2014 that change was in the air, that positive things were going to happen in their lives. कितना खौफ होता है मोदी जी के उन भाषणों में, कितना खौफ होता है मोदी जी के उन भाषणों में, पूछ इन परिंदों से जो अच्छे दिन के इंतजार में अभी भी है. You know, there's a better shayad, not from, these were the ones I made up, but I'll give you one from Dushyant Kumarji, which applies perfectly to Modi ji's promises. कहाँ तो तय था उजाला हर घर के लिए, कहाँ तो तय था उजाला हर घर के लिए, कहाँ चिराग मयसर नहीं शहर के लिए. That is the reality we are facing, and I'm told that apart from Lucknow, it is a reality everywhere else in UP. Broken promises. Have any of you seen the 15 lakh rupees in your bank account? We've all seen the videos going around WhatsApp of that promise made by the candidate who is now our Prime Minister. 15 lakh rupees in the bank account of every Indian. Where has it come? Where has black money ended? Can all of you touch your hands on your hearts and say you've never seen any black money since 2014? Where is the ease of doing business we heard so much about? Where, for that matter, is Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas? Where are the 2 crore jobs? Where are any of the things promised? It's striking that the amazing thing about this government is the only achievements that they can actually point to are the very things they opposed when they were in opposition. We have an extraordinary thing where they oppose FDI in retail. When they come to power, they push FDI in retail. They oppose liberalization of the insurance sector. They come in, they pass the bill on insurance sector. They oppose Aadhaar. Prime Minister Modi has attacked it many, many times. Here they take Aadhaar and they make it 10 times worse than it was ever intended to be. Every single thing they have done, they have taken schemes initiated in the UPA, and very often they've changed the name, and there I take my hat off to them. These are marketing geniuses. We have some boring titles like direct subsidy benefits transfer, and they go and call it Jan Dhan. Arey wah. Jan Dhan sounds so much better. And I was struck to see, for example, when I agreed to be a Swachh Bharat ambassador in that first round of appointments, when I saw many of the other schemes of this government, that in every single scheme, they've actually put less money Swachh Bharat has less money for substantive operations than the UPA sanitation program. Education, Rashtriya Uchatthar Shiksha Abhiyan, Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, all of those have less money than the UPA had put in them, even though, of course, each year the population keeps growing. But in every case, the publicity budget has gone up. On sanitation, the publicity budget is 5 times larger than what it was in the UPA. This is a marketing government, absolutely brilliantly accomplished in marketing, sadly not in actual results. You know, there's also the fact that Ghalib had anticipated this also, because he said, तेरे वादे पर जिए हम तो ये जान झूठ जाना, तेरे वादे पर जिए हम तो ये जान झूठ जाना कि खुशी से मर न जाते अगर एतबार होता. I lived by your promise as I knew that it was false. Would I have died of happiness if I'd believed it to be true? But you know, then Modi ji needs to know, as the poet Asrarul Haq Majaz, I think he's from here or not far from here, said, बड़ी मुश्किल है दुनिया का संवरना, बड़ी मुश्किल है दुनिया का संवरना, तेरी जुल्फों का पेचो खाम नहीं है. शायद उनकी दाढ़ी की जुल्फों के बारे में सोच रहा था मजाज. Now, instead of addressing the growing schisms in India's social fabric, what are we seeing? We are seeing the ruling establishment portraying dissent as seditious, protests as anti-national. They have marched into universities, whether it's BHU one day, whether it's AMU another day. Earlier it was JNU, it was IIT Madras, it was Hyderabad University. And in every case, the followers of our ruling party, their family of organizations, have acted to stifle speech, to stifle dissent, to oppose free thought, time after time after time. I was asked this afternoon at a press conference about your recent Jinnah controversy. And I said, that picture has been hanging there since 1938. How many times has the BJP been in power in UP since then? You tell me. How many times has the BJP been in power in the center since then? And yet, when it suits those who have no other achievements to point to, a polarizing issue comes very well to hand. Isn't that quite remarkable? And yet when you ask the basic question, if there is a wrong portrait hung in a wrong place in a university, is that not for the university to discuss? Should you not have a debate about it? Should not the Students' Union hold a debate? Or the University Senate or the Academic Council discuss it, thrash it out, make a recommendation to the Vice-Chancellor, take down the picture if necessary, leave it there if necessary, but discuss it intellectually? Isn't that what a university is for? But no. That is what a university is for, that's what the law allows. What the law does not allow is for anybody to go into an educational institution, threaten and impose violence in order to pursue their preferences. A university is where you win arguments, you don't win fights. A university is there where you go to talk and persuade and debate, you don't show your muscles. But do the people who have done this understand that what they have done is in violation of the law? Very clearly the answer to that question is no, they don't understand. But the fact is, this is what we're living with now. And those who oppose their breaking the law are the ones branded as anti-national. That is what has happened.